This summer, thousands of Floridians will suffer from swamp ass. This horrible condition often takes people by surprise. You may even know someone who's experienced this dreaded affliction, but you can help. Call 420-6969 today to find out how you can help those who are suffering to get the wet wipes, Imodium, and support they need. Snacktrolling the Mojavelicious caramalmost makes you satiswish for a nuclear whunger. What's up, yo? No intro song today. Gotta crank this one out. It's super late. Busy day. Good day. Hope yours has been as well. And I got to this super late, so it's like 11:30 when I'm recording this. Speaking of which, since it's a night stream, I'll do my night stream special and light a candle. There we go. Friendly reminder that without a 6-inch layer of topsoil, you're basically already dead. Omae o mo shinderu. So, some words have completely different words that sound almost exactly like the original word. And I think music companies have used this lingual feature to induce curiosity for their songs. And then you have in the comment section like false translation. You have all videos about false translations and stuff like that. And I think that's something that's been deliberately manufactured. I think they find a song and they go, okay, this is going to make it ambiguous. It'll be in between. You'll say this in between these two words. And then people won't know which word to use until they check the official lyrics. And they'll be like, what? I've been singing it like the wrong way all the time. I'm sure many of you can relate, and that's something that a lot of people grew up with, like people fighting for what the actual translation is in the comment section of videos. Now, I used to think that Doomers were the younger, lost generation, but it's just repackaged emo culture, apparently. That's a shame. Emo culture is kind of bad, not gonna lie. Goth culture, emo culture is kind of bad. Kind of crap. Kind of garbage. Oh well. As I said, I like scene culture. I think it's cute and funny and worthy of remembrance and preservation, but not emo culture, not goth culture. Not really. I mean, at least goth culture has kind of a whole thing. Well, what was emo culture? Is like romanticizing cutting yourself? Come on now. That was lame. You know, Stargate, not some stupid, program, excuse me, not some stupid government program, but the television program, the movie Stargate SG-1, stuff like that. It's a really good anthroposophy theosophy banger, straight from peak cinema, from the Kino minds. And everybody should go back and check that out because it was genuinely good. And it genuinely inspired a tremendous amount of good sequels until Atlantis, and then Atlantis was kind of middling. You know, I've heard people really like Atlantis. I think the sets were pretty dang good. So, did you know that rockets are always launched to the east? Did you know churches are supposed to be built facing the east because that's the direction that Jesus always prayed and preached? Pretty neat in my opinion. Pretty neat. On a serious note, this Satan, our governor, one of the worst governors in the country, is letting companies suck up and sell millions of gallons of water in my county alone per day. There's also been a tremendous amount of firefighters that have been laid off recently, and I can't help but see this is exactly what was happening to the California water reserves. You had Saudi Arabians sticking a big straw in Lake Mead and sucking it all up, and laid off a bunch of Newsom laid off a bunch of firefighters. Greasy Gavin laid off a bunch of firefighters, and then you had this gigantic tinderbox erupt. So, yep, it is what it is. Meatball Ron is pitting himself to be just as bad as Gruesome Newsom. And what's crazy is God gave us enough to sustain millions indefinitely. You see how this works is how aquifers work. People in the north are already saying their wells are growing dry. And this is the first time they've experienced this. The reason why is because they're sucking up millions of gallons of water a day. But you know how aquifers work is they're created by trees. Trees have deep root systems and have connecting root networks. And what they do is they over a period of time, they store water down in aquifers to act as a reserve. And it'll just stack up into a beautiful reserve of water. And people can balance their consumption with tending of the forest and have an indefinite amount of water to sustain medium to high populations, depending on how much they respect that. What we're doing is we're turning everywhere into the Middle East, and it is an absolute nightmare. Everywhere Zionists go, it just turns into an absolute nightmare. So don't ever let somebody like DeSantis into your governor's mansion. You will regret it. I have some really important homework for you guys. Look up the Genesis Prize. And I want you, please do this, to see who got it in 2023 and 2025. It'll be very enlightening to some of you. The Genesis Prize. Look it up, please. And I'm really sorry to report this, and I don't want to press this button 1,000 times, and I really want to be wrong, but I think Elon's deeply invested as a frontman for manipulating Trump, and I think that's where a vast majority of his willpower, of his time and energy goes, of his what he's propped up to be. I think that's going to be a big detriment to us making America great again, and it's definitely not going to become great again with him doubling his $400 billion in some absolutely psychopathic, if not like outright psychotic bid to become the world's first trillionaire. Like that means anything. And plus the guy doesn't really produce anything. Hyperloop and Neuralink. Thank God Neuralink isn't a real thing. Torturing monkeys in the process. The Boring Company. I mean, I'm sure the Boring Company could be used to dig underneath people's living areas and cause sinkholes and stuff like that. Is the reason why Hyperloop never manifested. But the capability is nothing but destruction from the looks of it. Very little creation. And I do believe that he's tricking people into thinking that if they continue along the same lines of investing in AI, which is something that Microsoft has shown is not profitable and not helpful and not productive, then Elon will help them live forever, which he's not going to be able to do. Even if we had those technologies, certainly a person like Elon would not be capable of doing it. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but the guy is genuinely dumb. He's got like 100 IQ at most, and I'm serious about this. He is not an intelligent person. He hires people and forces them with coercion and threats to do the jobs that he needs. And you see lots of stuff backfiring specifically because that is a bad way of bossing around your employees, and that is not a good way of leading any sort of movement or company or utility or anything. So I have a strong feeling that in the next couple of months we're going to see Doge blow up big time. Because as I said, $10 million a week, that's quite the salary. They're going to notice that money eventually. However, what did they just pass? Like a $6 trillion budget? That's pretty crazy. Wonder where that's going to go. Anyways, give it a year. As I said, give it a year. We're still in the beginning years of this, and the worst stuff always happens at the beginning of various terms. Trump's not a dictator, but there is a guy using language learning models to mass dictate millions of people, you see. The issue is the capability of the dictator. The bigger the stack, the higher the gravity, the more responsibility, especially going on a smaller and smaller group of people, it will crush them, and they will immediately outsource that crushing to everyone around them, and so it will crush tons and tons of people. And I'm happy to hear that the Trump administration has rolled back a lot of their national park firings, because that was genuinely insane. AI will be used to survey the bravest fighters against the techno-feudal slavery being implemented and inflict maximal pain to suppress them. In this revelation we must be silent as specters, and to bite back at the beast in an efficient way as employable. Slavery wasn't done away with barbarous revolution nor coup, but a hard-fought, slow-won struggle and the sacrifice of noble men. And George III struggled very, very hard to think of the most noble and viable path forward for everybody, including people outside of his religion, outside of his country. And he had never bought or sold a slave in his life. And very happy that slavery could be deemed for a few centuries immoral, inhuman, insane. Because it's coming back. You hate to see it, folks. People remember their history. It wasn't all internal backstabbers, or the notion that good triumphs over evil. What doomed Germany was the Blitzkrieg, was overextension and eventual coalitioning. Chew on that. I remember why I originally signed up for Kiwi Farms, by the way, to block annoying anime avatars while I was lurking. I was so sick of seeing annoying anime avatars while I was lurking that I had to sign up in order to block them. You know, neo-Nazis on Kiwi Farms were the only people I've ever encountered that reported me to the Anti-Defamation League. They also simultaneously said they stole my likeness to create a gay dating app account. And I chewed on that for a while to try and figure out how in the heck that sort of hypocrisy could happen, but I realized that's not hypocrisy. That is exactly the modern neo-Nazi as a theosophist that is deeply, deeply connected to Zionism and all of its roots and branches. And very specifically, Israel is the most friendly country to the LGBT, and the Netanyahus, Yair, and Benjamin are frequently spotted with neo-Nazis. Frequently. I hope nobody out there thinks I'm advising Sean from potentially criminal. I'm not. We barely interact. I don't go on his Discord. I don't talk to him personally. You know, he shouts out a comment for me every once in a while. I enjoy his streams very much. But I don't get the impression that I'm advising him in any way, shape, or form like I did with Josh. Don't get it twisted. It's crazy that the government is trying to steal my thoughts. People have nothing worth stealing in their heads. I say that as a completely mundane and valueless hombre, but still, come on. I guess all those people working... You don't really see that many people like that these days. I guess all those people working coding and AI prompt training now. Oh, my unsophisticated sloppy thoughts, be they novel or scholastic, are so important. I totally couldn't be replaced. I learned to code, I'm secure. Oh, buddy, look, buddy, look. Just like how the car replaced the horse, your position in the data mines is unattuned. It's tenuous. Not unattuned, I skipped forward a line in my notes. Look. It doesn't mean you're not special. You are. You are a miracle. But also, unrefined, unattuned. If you knew how things work, you never think you deserved a piece of the poison pie. You really don't want that. It's like a dog in the kitchen begging for boiling water on the stove. You really don't want that. You do not want that smoke. More money, more problems. Simultaneously, I cannot imagine a worse life than people who are so utterly afraid of losing more than they could ever touch in their life, that they become the most fearful and the most destructive and the most indulging in the death drive. It's a terrible fate. It's a gruesome fate. You do not want that. You do not want to achieve demonic apotheosis, my friends. By the way, for anybody wondering, pineapple ham on pizza is fine. What's not is barbecue sauce. That is an atrocious atrocity. That is an affront to God. Okay? Pineapple and ham on pizza, that's fine. It's fine. As long as the pineapple's not sliced thin enough and the ham's not too salty, it's pretty dang good. You know, even if I blow up, which I won't, I'll always remember my 14 fellers who tune in every time. Love you guys. I love autistic wolf theory, that all modern dogs are descended from autistic wolves. It's a pretty cool theory. It's a pretty cool theory. It's pretty cool to think about in the implications. Speaking of autistic wolves, I'm trying to get into a Border Princess Warhammer 40k audiobook streams, but every time I start listening, I feel like I'm 3 to 4 books behind a contiguous story arc. Oh well, I'm still gonna try, you know. I've really been enjoying the whole Medringard. I really like Uriel Ventress. He's really cool. He's one of my favorite Ultramarines. But yeah, just got through with recently uploaded one called The Enemy of My Enemy. Pretty good, not bad. Graham McNeil is pretty dang good. I say that, and then somebody's gonna drop a huge Graham McNeil, you know, diss track. Oh no, Turkey Tom, no! Oh man, Turkey Tom's getting felted beyond belief. Oh, you hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. Why that paper mache alien from Mexico look like an AirPod? Eraserhead baby lived! Oh, alright. That's good for today. I can't take too long. Gotta upload this before the day's end so I can keep my schedule. Alright, y'all. Cheers.